I heard someone just tell me that if you take an Oreo and dip it in water and pull it out. So don't let it soak. Just dip it and then microwave it for 10 seconds. It's the best it could ever be. And it's like gone viral. All these people are doing this. To it. Yeah. Yeah, but I haven't done it.
Probably expands. Hey everyone, welcome to the LifenGeer podcast where truth leads to joy and adventure. I'm your host, Justin, and I'm here with Kevin Geer. What's up, brah?
Hey, excited to record this podcast today. It's going to be a great day. I hope we started recording everything. I didn't even take care of all the details, but I never really do.
Yeah.
We have a great team here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's recording. It's ready to roll.
Okay, let's do this. Welcome.
Right. Dude, welcome. We have an exciting, as always, every episode you're excited about the topic. So what are we talking about?
Today, fascinating conversation. Fascinating. And that is we're talking about day 5. That's this principle of how to keep going when you want to quit. And I'll illustrate it, but how to keep going when you're done. Yeah. How to keep going when everything is sour.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about.
That's good. Hey, before we get there, though, let's talk a little bit about the podcast. Everything, it's cool. We're seeing growth from it. We're getting a lot of feedback, people who love it. So let's keep getting the word out. So before we get to the content of it, let's remind everyone, like and subscribe to the podcast on social media. Make sure it's on your favorite podcast one.
Please,
and then the best way to help us out is write a review and share it for us.
Come on. We'd love to see some reviews out there and sharing it. That's awesome. It's been fun to hear people randomly come up and say, hey, I was listening to your podcast. I shared it with a friend, and they're like listening, going back and recapturing. Somebody just came up to me and said, I didn't even know you did a podcast. So they've been binging them to catch up on all of them. So that's been fun to hear.
They're better than our wives.
I got my hair cut today.
Yeah.
And I asked my hairdresser.
Also known as my wife.
Okay. You're liking the podcast? She goes, I'm 6 episodes behind. And I said, you're dead to me.
What about your wife? How many is she behind?
You know that one that she was on? I think that's the only one she ever listened to. This is terrible promotion. But they get us all the time.
I know. They're like, we're sick of you guys.
Oh, my goodness. Terrible.
But they're not, though. They love us dearly.
No. Yeah, they do.
Do you guys ever listen back to the podcast of yourselves?
Kevin does not. I do.
Oh.
I do not listen to that.
I watch it.
Okay. So I was driving the other day, and I had someone in the car with me, and I said, hey, want to listen to the LifenGeer podcast? And it got awkward because he goes, you're listening to yourself. I'm like, it's pretty good stuff. and the ride just got more awkward. So now I don't listen to myself.
I critique myself.
Yeah.
I critique you.
Okay.
But mostly myself.
Well, I haven't heard any critique, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So make us better. Put your comments down. You could do this so much better. We take positive feedback.
Yeah, we love feedback on there. But you've got something going on. You said you wanted to ask me something or something like that.
I have a question for you. I have a question for every listener out there, and it's a pretty serious question.
Uh-oh.
We are often influenced without our choice on the kind of peanut butter that we're going to eat. Do you know that sometimes I have Jif, sometimes I have Skippy.
Jiffy. Skippy. Yeah.
And Jif. And it really determines what kind of peanut butter I have by one indicator. What is that indicator? Do you know?
Mm-mm.
Whatever Costco is getting the best deal on. Costco will not carry both. They either carry Skippy or they carry Jif. And because our peanut butter is bought at Costco, like many people, that's what's going to end up in your cupboard. But the question, the question that is significant, what is better, Skippy or Jif?
Ooh.
And then Andy says Adams, which
it's like healthy. Is that like healthy?
Costco sells that all the time.
It's like organic.
It's oil.
What's organic mean?
I don't know. It's for. I don't know. I have a lot of things to say that's probably wrong. So yeah, there is Adams if anybody really cares. But then there is Jif, and Skippy. So my question to you is, what is better, Jif or Skippy?
I'm trying to think of the label because
one is blue, and then the other is
red and green and blue.
Yes.
The blue one. That's Skippy, right? So I like their extra crunchy.
Okay,
that's my preferred.
There's 2 different categories here. We have the cream, or no, the plain, which is creamy, and then we have the crunchy. So we're gonna have to do 2 different categories there.
But I mean, if you're asking my personal preference, my personal preference is Skippy extra crunchy.
Okay, take out the crunchy.
I can't take it out. You asked my personal preference,
right? But there's 2 categories. I'm asking you about the creamy.
I almost
Skippy
always
Skippy or Jif creamy.
I don't know. Because I if it's extra crunchy, it's there. I just eat it. Otherwise, I probably don't eat peanut butter.
So there was a research done at a university.
Okay.
Fox University in Oregon.
Sounds made up.
It is made up. by all of the resident directors there had this experiment. They were pulled into a meeting.
Wow.
And they go, we are going to discuss something very serious.
Our tax dollars hard at work.
And then no, they're paying for it. These are college students. George, it's not a state university.
Oh, okay.
And then the director there led them on a journey of taste testing, which one blindfolded taste testing, and then delivered the results.
Yeah.
And so I know the results of that test because my brother LifenGeer was the one that conducted the research.
Wow.
And I was fascinated by this. So I thought,
what results?
I'm not going to tell you the results until the next podcast, because here's what we're going to do. We want everybody to post their comments on what they think is better, Jiffy or Skip out of the creamy, and Jiffy or Skip out of the crunchy. And if you want to do Adams, you'll be by yourself.
Okay. What?
Go ahead, Andy. You're
Jif or Skippy, not Jiffy or Skip.
Oh, my goodness. Jif or Skippy. So post it in the comments, and then we will do a Canvas staff blindfolded taste test.
Okay.
And then we will deliver the results of what is the best, and then our personal opinions. Next podcast, we open up with that.
So we're gonna post the results of the real test, and then we're gonna post the results of the Canvas test.
No, I'm not even really worried about the George Fox test.
Why don't you tell us then?
Because I don't want to influence the taste testing. So I'll give you the results to that next podcast. Okay. But really what matters and what's going to prove right or wrong is Canvas staff. They have better taste buds. They're more mature. Seriously, I know my brother. They're more mature, and he doesn't listen to the podcast. So I bet he does. He's going to now. His name is mentioned.
Oh, man. He's going to be like, why'd you say my name?
And the topic that we're talking about today is going to be good for him.
So we're talking about...
It's good for everybody.
How to or when the day 5 happens, what is that like?
Let me unpack. There's a story out of the Bible that I'm using to get this thought from.
Yeah.
And so I'll unpack it, and then that will help us walk through it. So you ready to jump in and go for this?
You did a good job clickbaiting at the beginning of that, like day 5.
Boom, boom, boom.
What does day 5 even mean?
Okay, so here it is. There was the Lord gave Israel a plan to go into the town of Jericho, the promised land.
Okay.
And it's a very unique story. You can find the story in Joshua in the Bible in the Old Testament. And here's what the Lord told the Israelites to do. March around the wall of Jericho. And the walls of Jericho were famous for huge. March around the wall once every day for how many days?
21.
No, for 6 days. You knew the answer. For 6 days. And then on the 7th day, march around it. How many times, Tanya? 7 times. Yeah, I stopped you there. You're like, 7 times. And then after, that's a total of, if you do it once every day for 6 days, and then 7 times on the 7th day, what's the answer, Andy? 13 total times. And after they marched around on the 7th day 7 times, they were to blow the trumpets and to yell, and then the wall would come down.
Boom.
Okay. Well, what I want to talk about, and it is important, is day 5 of that journey. I'm not even going to talk about day 6 or 7 and the walls coming down. You can go read about that if you're interested in Joshua chapter 6. But in Joshua 6:14, this is the verse I want to use in a sense to sort of introduce a topic that is very practical for our lives.
Yeah.
It says, on the 2nd day, they again marched around the town once and returned to camp. And they followed this pattern for 6 days.
Now, Jericho is a large city.
Large city.
And there is a lot of Israelites.
Lots of Israelites.
So this isn't a small feat to do this.
No, you get up. If you were an Israelite, you'd get up early in the morning. Mm-hmm. You would line up as people go, and you would march around the wall.
Right.
And maybe it would take 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then that was your day.
Yeah.
And what I want to look at is the day 5 of that 7 days.
Okay.
Because nothing has happened
right
by day 5. And you're marching around the Jericho wall. Day 5 is fascinating.
Yeah.
Because more people live or experiencing day 5 than they are miracle day 7 or miracle day 6. Because day 6, you can say, tomorrow's the day.
Here we go, baby.
Come on. And today's the day. But
and day 1 is awesome.
day 1, you're excited.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Day 2, here we go. Day 5, here's what I'm going to say. Day 5 is the hardest day of the journey. So what I want to do, I want to break this way of thinking down on day 5. I want to give you 3 reasons why it's the most dangerous day, and then the antidote to that danger.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Then.
And then.
5 reasons.
Whoa, easy, Turbo.
5 reasons. Sorry, I had some Skippy this morning.
Some Jiffy.
No, I got my Skippy made me Jiffy. Okay, sorry.
Let's just stop.
5 reasons. Pause. Crunchy is also my favorite. 5 reasons why it's an opportunity. So 3 reasons why it's dangerous, 5 reasons why it's an opportunity.
Okay.
But you have to have the right mind frame.
Yeah.
So that's where I want to go.
Okay.
Ready to jump in?
Let's dive in.
Day 5. Day 5. Day 5 is the day where you're looking forward to something and it's not coming as quickly as you wanted. Day 5 is a hard day because point number 1 of why it's dangerous, it's when doubt starts to come in. Starts off fun. Day 1, you were saying this earlier. Day 1, here we go. Day 2, come on, we can do this. I just got back from.
Here we go.
Here we go.
You're gonna start rapping.
I'm a wooer. I get people excited.
Yeah.
You know what? On day 5, nobody wants to hear a wooer.
No. They're kind of like annoyed. Like they actually get frustrated.
They do.
Yeah.
This is when doubt starts to come in.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. Let me articulate this way. I do a guy's adventure every year. My brothers and I go on an adventure every year.
That's so cool, by the way.
We just got done floating the North Fork for 3 days.
I heard that was all your idea.
Yes. I planned it. It was my time to plan it.
Yeah.
So and I planned a Montana trip. And who wants to go hiking when it's 100 degrees out?
No.
But we usually do hiking trips.
Yeah.
And there is a time where I get my backpack on. I'm 35 pounds, 40 pounds backpack, and we start marching. And there's a moment that always comes. I start off fun. This is exciting. This is going to be great. And then about 30 minutes in, I hate this. Why am I doing this? This is the stupidest idea. Last year I wrote a resignation letter in my head. I was so done with it. Day 5.
Yeah.
And then what happens is fascinating. When you're going on a journey, or not even a journey, when you're in a job and it's been there for a long time, and you're not getting what you want, or if you're been doing your schooling and you're like, it's never going to get done, or you've been in a relationship and it's not going where you thought it was going to go, or day 5 is part of everybody's journey.
Yeah.
And what happens on day 5, why doubt starts to come in, is you start second guessing leaders.
Yeah.
You think of better ideas in your head.
Yeah.
Like when I'm walking with my brothers, we're hiking, and I'm like, we could have gone somewhere so much easier.
Yeah.
We could have done something so much more fun. We could have done something much more. I have all these ideas flooding my head going,
Nathan, this is a horrible idea.
Nathan, what?
It's always Nathan's fault.
Actually, it is. Oh, Nathan's going to have to listen to this. But my little brother, Nathan, he can hike up a mountain.
Like a billy goat.
Like, his nickname was Goat. It's like, how do you know all this?
I'm just smart.
We called him Goat at one time. Now we call him Mooch, but because he's more of a moocher than a goater. But he kills me. He kills me. Yeah. And so what you do is you get all these better ideas, and you're like, if I was in charge, I would do this and this. So then day 5,
and then you decided to float a river.
Well, I was in charge. We floated a river, and it was wonderful. I didn't take 10,000 steps in 3 days. It was phenomenal. But doubt starts to come in, and then what you do is you start fault finding. This is why it's dangerous.
That's so true, yeah.
A fault-finding mentality is never a joyful mentality. Yeah. Those never go together. Yeah. A fault-finding mentality always leads to an entitled mentality. Those always go together.
Yeah.
And so doubt starts to come in, and then you always blame. I found this to be true in every organization I've ever worked in, including Canvas.
Yeah.
You always blame upward or downward, always.
Right.
Most of the time, you blame upward.
Yeah.
Look at America. We're always blaming it. It's the government's fault. It's I took a loan out on a house I can't afford. It's the bank's fault for lending me the money. It's always upward, always upward. Or it will be sometimes when you talk to leaders, when you're saying it's always downward, they're either going to go shoot upward. But if you're the upward person, then they're not blaming you to your face. They're blaming, well, they're just not doing their job. It's always downward.
Yeah.
Day 5 warning. Doubt starts to come in.
Yeah.
But there's an antidote to it.
Okay, what is that antidote?
Oh, everyone listening to the podcast is going to roll their eyes when I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a day 5 reaction.
Yeah.
But it's true. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You've heard it before.
Many times.
The antidote, when doubt starts to come in, bloom where you're at.
Yeah.
Here's what I mean by bloom where you're at. You got to put one foot in front of the other on day 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to get around the wall on day 5 if you don't keep doing what you're doing. But imagine those people waking up on day 5. They have done 4 days and they haven't seen a pebble come off the wall. They have done 4 days of getting up, marching around, nothing. Yeah. Oh, and they had to march around quietly. They had to.
Oh, yeah, silently.
Yeah. They had to get up. Nothing is taking place. Wait, what is insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result. So you could say this is insanity. Day 5.
Yeah.
Day 5. You got to bloom. What does it mean? You got to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got to keep going on, and you got to understand. And sometimes, maybe if you're listening to the podcast, the greatest identification or point you're going to take away from your current struggle or frustration or is you're going, oh, I'm not at the end of the journey. I'm not at the end. It's just day 5. And that maybe you're like, the day 6 and 7 are coming.
Yeah.
But I have to get through day 5. And sometimes day 5 could be a month.
Yeah. Or a year.
Or a year. I remember I wanted to be a lead pastor from when I was 8.
Right.
And I didn't get that opportunity because I really felt like the Lord led me to be a children's pastor.
Yeah.
So I became a children's pastor almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Before lead pastor.
Yeah.
Now I loved it, but I had to choose to bloom where I was at.
Yeah.
And it built me up. So that is, doubt's going to come in. Maybe I'm never going to be a lead. Maybe it's never going to. Doubt comes in on day 5.
Yeah.
I was, well, let's go to point 2.
Yeah.
That makes it dangerous. And I'll use this story to say this. Bickering and complaining. Bickering, complaining. So now not only is doubt coming in on day 5, now you start to tell others about it.
Yeah.
You either start complaining or you're easily offended.
Yeah.
Because here's why. For the Israelites, they are literally going in circles. And then when you're frustrated and you're not getting the results that you were hoping for, everything starts to make you mad.
Yeah.
And so disunity comes up. The kind of music you're listening to, the style of music, all these little things, disunity comes, starts building up. And you're like, nah. And then you get sensitive because you're internally frustrated.
Yeah.
So you start fighting over the dumbest little things. Bickering and complaining comes up. I was on a Rubicon trip with my Jeep.
I'll be dipped.
I don't know if you, for the YouTube watchers.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Rubicon Trail Survivor shirt. But I had to order a new part for my Jeep today because I cracked it.
Oh.
But it's under warranty, so they're shipping it overnight.
Wow.
But it was hard. It was a hard. Yeah. Well, we were having a frustrating trip on the way down. Oil cooler went down, brakes went out on a vehicle, hose broke on we're not even on the Rubicon trip. We're on our way. We're spending hours in Fred Meyer parking lots working on these things.
Wow. And it's hot probably.
Asphalt. So terrible. And so we were back on the road driving, and I grabbed my radio.
That's so cool.
And I said, hey guys, and there was 8 of us on the 8 rigs in a row. I go, hey, I want to tell you about day 5. So I told them, I did a little talk. I go, we're driving along. It's 11 days on this journey.
Yeah.
And I go, it's going to be easy to start bickering and complaining. But let's have a day 5 mentality. This is what I told them. And I go, the antidote. And Tanya, you were on this trip. You remember this little lecture I gave?
No, she was sleeping.
No, she was driving. She better not have been sleeping. She was driving her Jeep. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on speaking life to one another. We can complain, and there's things to complain about.
Sure.
We can get frustrated, and there's things to be frustrated about. Why didn't you fix that ahead of time?
Yeah.
or we could take the same energy and speak life to one another.
Yeah.
Somewhere you're on day 5 and you want to complain and bicker, or maybe you're already bickering and you find the easiness of complaining. Change. Start speaking life.
And by speaking life, celebrate wins.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think you said it right on. Celebrate. Find the things to be positive about. Yeah. Hey, we are on this trip together.
Yeah.
Or you know what? We've gone longer than most people have ever gone in a relationship. Or you know what? We have better days ahead. Let's look at those. I'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's I'm still getting a steady check from my job.
Yeah.
And I'm light here.
Yeah.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
It can be, hey, I am going to find something to celebrate every day. That regardless of what it is, it's the mindset of what you're going to choose on.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm going to choose to speak life. Changes everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So bickering, complain, and then, but here's the third one.
Yeah.
Third one. This is the third dangers. Let me give you the first 2 dangers. Doubt starts to come in.
Yeah.
Bickering and complaining. And then the third one is boredom. Boredom is dangerous within a culture.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, I've done this.
Yeah.
Or I've lost the lack of challenge.
Yeah.
And then when you find boredom, the brain will fill it with insecurity.
Yeah.
Do you know that boredom is the petri dish for insecurity to grow? Because you're not challenging your mind, you're not growing, and so you're like, do I have a place?
Yeah.
Am I needed? Am I wanted? All these, and by the way, these are all things I've walked through, so I understand it.
Yeah.
And everybody does. It's day 5. Every epic journey, and life is an epic journey, has a day 5. And so all these things start to come into your mind that fill your mind. And so you have to have an antidote.
What is that?
For me, what I put on here, I have to reproduce myself. Someone asked me recently, Kevin, have you ever thought of leaving the church and going somewhere else? And I have.
Yeah.
I love the challenge for me, the way that I'm wired. I love the challenge of taking a conservative, old mentality church and shifting it to becoming a relevant, Jesus-focused mission church. I mean, that's my life. I love doing that.
Yeah.
The challenge, the leading people where they don't know they want to go. A lot of the podcasts that we share, topics come from that journey of when we took Canvas Church and shifted it over the last 10 years. Our team did it. So I've thought about doing that.
Yeah.
But I have found in the last 3 years that the greatest joy for me is coming and reproducing that kind of mentality into other people. And empowering leaders to lead in their own way that way. And I can do that from where we're at as we're planting churches and as we're doing that. And so I have found the antidote of boredom: reproduce yourself.
Yeah.
There are days I'll sit in Tanya's office, who's my ministry assistant, and I go, well, what am I going to give away today? I never get to do anymore. and that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But I have found that in the process of reproducing myself, you're not going alone on the journey.
Yeah.
And when you're having that kind of an attitude of reproducing yourself on day 5, here are the people who move away from you. Complainers. Because a complainer will only complain to someone who will listen and speak back to their complaining.
And agree with them.
But when you're focused on day 5 to go, no. I'm going to have a better attitude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bloom where I'm at. I'm gonna speak life, and I'm gonna reproduce myself into others.
Yeah.
So I'm walking with people on day 5. Hey, we're gonna win on day 5. Like, that's my language.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep doing the hard things. I don't know if there's gonna be, if day 5 is a month. If day 5, we're gonna keep on keeping on. Bickering and complaining people move away from you.
Yeah.
Because you're not fertile soil for them to plant their seeds of doubt.
Right.
And so it starts to shift your attitude. And that leads me then to having an opportunity to get the best out of day 5.
That's good.
So any thoughts on the first 3 that you have that are dangerous?
I like them. I like the antidotes. I like that you partner that up with the antidotes having some, so it's not just like doubt starts to come in and then we just leave it there. It's like, here we go. We got to bloom where we're planted, though. We're bickering and complaining. I got to speak life.
Yeah.
I just like that concept of this is what it is. This is how we overcome that.
I'm glad you said that, Justin. It has to have an antidote.
Yeah.
Because you will do 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
It's not that you won't doubt.
Right.
You will doubt. You will bicker and complain. You will be bored. That's normal. But the antidote allows you to go, oh, here's how I respond to those things.
Right.
Okay, let me jump in to, and I'm excited about this one, 5 opportunities.
Here we go.
Okay, 5 opportunities, because we can turn anything into an opportunity. And I have 5 action verbs out of that's going to come out. 5 actions.
Yes.
That you're going to have to do on day 5. Okay, so you're not naturally going to think these way.
Okay.
It's like for the doubt and the bickering, that naturally comes.
Sure.
So you're going to have to intentionally go, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
First thing is, got to find a pace.
Okay.
Find a pace that is reproducible.
Okay.
So if you're still trying to find a pace on day 5, you're going to be frustrated. Because day 4, you went 1 speed. Day 2, you went 1 speed. Day 3, you go a different speed. Day 4, you go a different speed. Come day 5, you don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
It's hard and it's rough. So I think there's something, like when I go on my hikes with my brothers, the first half hour is the hardest.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm mad at everybody, and I'm like, why are we doing this? This isn't even fun. But when I stay on a consistent pace, you get through that third wall in a sense, and then you're like, okay, I can do this.
What's crazy is when you break that pace, like, oh, I'm going to take a break, and the difference that happens there, because then you got to start the rhythm all over again.
It's so true. Oh, it is that is true. So find a place. And maybe for some of you, maybe this is a good health identifier, is you don't have a rhythm of life. Your life is chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you're always frustrated. You haven't found a rhythm.
Yeah.
Come day 5, have a rhythm.
Yeah.
That you've established in the first 4 days. This is the rhythm of life. One of the things that I've done, it's been difficult, is I work out every day. I'm 3 months into this.
Yeah.
I work out midday every day, Monday through Friday. 12:30 to 2 is, that adjusts every once in a while. That's the exception. Pretty much every day, 12:30 to 2. And it has become such a good rhythm for me. I have recaptured my afternoons.
Yeah.
And it's become, I had to find a pace to keep on the journey.
Yeah.
And this was very helpful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, actions that you can do. For me, it was working out.
Yeah.
I changed my breakfast eating routine. I drink, if I used to have a chai, a chai, no water every morning.
Pinkies up.
And I'm a pinky up drinker. Justin, I have to tell you something.
You don't drink chai.
This is a very serious.
Sorry.
No, I have judged you.
Oh, okay.
Tanya, you know what I'm talking about?
You can judge me?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You would show up in meetings. This is a LifenGeer epic moment.
Oh, here we go.
You would show up in meetings with a pink drink.
Oh, yeah.
And I would mock you.
Ah.
Like, what a loser.
Yeah. I know where you're going.
I love pink drink.
Yeah.
So I have changed my chai to pink drink.
To strawberry acai?
Yeah, I don't know. I just order a pink drink. But I knew they said the other day that they were out of the Aussie stuff. And I'm just like, I don't want Aussie. I want a pink drink. And they're like, well, that's what it is. And it was a really confusing moment there. But yes, your pink drink is phenomenal.
Yeah, I knew you'd judge me, just so you know, because you don't hide anything, and so you've said things before. John was he's the real judger. Oh,
John Anderson.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, he's a judger. Yeah, but I was on his bandwagon.
Oh yeah,
I'm on your bandwagon. Okay, I even drink with my pinky up. Do you do that?
No, it's not for me.
Okay. Well, anyways,
good for you.
What are some? Here's a question I would ask us. What are some good action items on day 5 that help you find a pace?
Yeah.
So I changed my breakfast because it wasn't giving me the good pace that I wanted. And what are some other things you could think off the top of your head? Because you weren't set up for this question.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to be willing to let go of stuff. So sometimes your life is chaotic and there is no pace because you have too much going on, and you have to be okay to let go of some of those things.
That's good. That is a good one. So sometimes finding your pace is letting go of things.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Number 2, opportunity. I like this one. It might be my favorite one. Number 2, find a connection.
Yeah.
Like how do you find a connection on day 5? Shared experiences lead to the deepest connection.
Yeah.
And so make sure to connect with people when you're going through day 5. Healthy people.
Yeah.
You'll be able to connect with the complainers. They're easy. They're always around. They're always looking for people to connect with them.
Yeah.
But all the healthy people have already left.
Yeah.
No, but there's something about walking on day 5 together. They're like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
We can make this. And I bet, and when you go back to the Jericho story, I bet people walked with the same people every day.
Probably.
Well, let's go together. Let's do it again. I'll see you tomorrow, same time.
Yeah.
Something about a shared experience allows you to put down rooms and friends bloom on day 5.
Boom.
Some of my deepest friends that I've had are people that were other children's pastors that we were doing ministry together.
Yeah.
You know, some of the deepest friends I have are the core team here, our team who navigated tension when we were shifting our church to be healthy and getting rid of dysfunction. And we were in the lines together, the battle lines. You know, you talk to some of the people who have been in military.
Yeah.
Some of their core friends. I mean, they will fly across
Forever.
the country
Yeah.
for a wedding or a funeral or
Yeah.
for just a moment of need. Why?
Yeah.
Because they went through a bonding time together. Day 5 is when life friends are made. Think about that. And you compare it to what could come in. Are you going to be a complainer? You will collect
Yeah.
friends for life that are complainers.
It's good.
Or you're going to go, I'm going to rise to the top on day 5.
That's good.
And I'm going to be and you will find those people will be around you.
Yeah.
Oh, and you find connection on day 5. When nothing is happening,
Yeah.
what's happening is the best friends are being formed.
Love it.
Find connection.
All right. So I got to find connection.
Find connection. That's an opportunity on day 5. The other opportunity on day 5 is number 3. And this is more for in the mind. You got to keep believing.
Oh, journey, baby.
Well, it's day 5.
Can't stop believing.
Nothing is happening.
No, you got to have those connections, and you
mark-
can't stop believing.
I like that song.
I was trying to get you to catch on to that
but
for
I
about.
I can't remember the tune.
Took you a little bit.
Don't stop believing.
Don't stop
Yeah.
believing. I like that song. Okay, did I say that? You know who sings it?
Journey.
Oh, one of my favorite. And makes my heart, I wanted to know if you knew.
I already said it.
He said it's a part of journey, baby, and you were like,
Okay, so
We're just waiting for Kevin to-
I missed the obvious things in life. So keep believing. Here's why this is so important. And let me give a spiritual component to this.
Yeah.
Obedience without results can increase faith.
Oh, that's powerful.
That's
That's hard.
It is.
That's really hard.
Obedience without results increases faith because you have to keep believing
Yeah.
and obeying.
Yeah.
Because believing has an action of obedience. And I think a lot of people in their spiritual walk with God,
Mm-hmm.
they follow God for results, and sometimes they don't get the results that they want, so they give up on God. But it was day 5.
Yeah.
The miracle happens on day 7, not day 5.
We see that more often in new believers.
Yeah.
You know, you hear those stories.
Or shallow. How about
Yeah,
shallow
I
believers?
like that. I like
Because I've seen people who say they've been believers of Jesus in a long time, and then something hard comes into their life, and they lose their faith right away.
Yeah, that's true.
It was shallow.
Yeah.
Because why? Because they were expecting miracle on day 5.
Yeah.
And day 7 is the miracle. We're not even talking about the miracle. We're talking about how to live on day 5.
Yeah.
And so what you have to do is got to keep focused on the goal.
Yeah.
And faith is simply I believe without evidence.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to put faith in your spouse. Sometimes you have to put not your spiritual faith, but faith that we will get through this.
Sure.
Faith in your children that they will mature and I'll got to keep sometimes in parenting.
Yeah.
Day 5 really is when they're 1 year old until they're 99 years old. Sometimes it feels like that, and you just got to keep believing. So what's the action to keep believing?
Yeah.
Well, I think a couple of things. First, for many listening to our podcast, it's a great spiritual growth season. And realize this is where I grow spiritually.
Yeah.
You don't grow spiritually on mountaintops.
That's good.
You grow spiritually in the valleys.
Yeah.
Or you die in the valleys.
Yeah.
And when you're on a day 5 journey, maybe you need to grab a hold of this is my growing season in the valley that's going to lead me to a mountaintop. And so I think that keep believing in the promises of God, keep believing. That's what the Israelites had to do. We have to believe God's going to be faithful on day 7, even though it's day 5 when I think he should be working.
Right.
Okay. In my personal story, I have 1 year left of my doctorate. I'm writing chapter 1 this coming week.
Ooh.
And 5 chapters I have to write. Chapter 1 I'm on. I'm doing my doctoral work. I don't like school.
Yeah.
I can't emphasize that enough.
Wait,
I
you
don't
don't like
writing.
school?
Yeah, serious. I don't like writing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my area of strength.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I know I need to do this.
Yeah.
Out of obedience to what God asked me to do.
Yeah.
I am living day 5 of my doctorate journey right now.
Every single day.
Every day is day 5 again. Day 5. Now I'm believing it will be worth it all. Yeah. At some point.
Yeah. Well, you have faith that in knowing that it will.
Yeah, because God told me to do it. So regardless of what happens, things turn out good.
Yeah.
But I'm having to put my foot down. And interesting, if I can just back up for a second, I have to keep believing it's worth it.
Yeah.
I am finding great connections with friends I never would have. They're sharing in the misery of having to get our doctorate done. Yeah. People, I get a text every week from several people. How we doing, friends? Because we're all miserable together.
Right.
And we have found a pace. These are our goals. Let's get them done by then. So just keep believing. Yeah. And then number 4, smile. Does that sound like a Kevin one?
Yeah.
Smile in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
Here's what I mean by that. Really smile. I'm going to define smile in a way I've never defined it before.
Oh, wow. Smile
is the action of guarding your heart.
Okay.
Here's what I mean by that. I'm choosing to smile when I could pick up an offense. I'm choosing to smile when I could be hurt.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to smile when I could choose to pick up other things.
Yeah.
And I think there's when you choose to smile at life, okay, you've given me your worst.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you my best.
Yeah.
That mentality
is
huge. And so the action out of smiling is I'm just going to choose to love.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to choose to respond in the way usually the world would not respond.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to be a better lover than that person is a hater or that situation is hurting me. I'm going to choose. It's smile.
Yeah.
Smile is telling my face, my brain is telling my face how we're going to respond. And it's leading my heart to follow. Here's why I say it that way. I have often found when I'm led intentionally, it's going to start in the brain, it's going to adjust my face, and my feelings will follow. If I lead out of my heart, it will also adjust my face, and I'll have a war in my brain.
Yeah.
Here's why. Because feelings aren't great leaders.
Yeah.
They're great enhancers.
Yeah.
And I want feelings.
Yeah.
I just want the right feelings in the right moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So smile. And then number 5, as we bring this to a close. On day 5, when you're walking around that wall and the wall is not coming down, you got to look forward.
Yeah.
It's only day 5 you have a better future.
Yeah.
What will the future be look like?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? There's going to be
and you
things,
don't know.
Oh, you know, by day 5 you probably have a blister.
Yeah.
On day 5 you probably worn through your shoes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are going to bring distractions to the present day.
Yeah.
But on day 5 you got to look to the future.
Yeah.
There's a little song in my head. I'll sing it to you. It's a little weird, but this is my day 5 song.
Okay.
It will be worth it all. It's an old song my mom used to sing. When we see Jesus. It's a good Christian song. Yeah. But I was singing it the other day.
Yeah.
I got up the other day, as in yesterday. I got up really early and I went out by the river.
Yeah.
We were floating, and I was looking at the river and the mountains, and the steam was rising. I was so cold, and the steam was rising off this mountain river. And I go, it will be. I started singing it out loud. It was just this moment. I'm going to look forward to the future.
Yeah.
And what that does is it gives you the attitude of success.
Yeah.
Before you've even had the success.
Yeah.
And so when you look forward, here's the other thing it does in your heart. You begin to dream again. Many times, maybe this is where you're at as you're listening to this day 5 podcast. you stop dreaming.
Yeah.
Because you've had a hurt,
Mm-hmm.
or you've had a failure, or you've had it's just day 5. You stop dreaming. Keep dreaming.
Yeah.
Keep dreaming. We were sitting one night on the Rubicon Trail with all my friends, and we were sitting around a fire, and we had just accomplished a 5-year dream.
Yeah.
And I said to them, "What's our dream in the next 5 years?" And we were all laughing about it. And they always, they like to make fun of me. And I'm like, yeah. Where are we going to go in 5 years? And I go, I want us to dream, not reality, but from our hearts. Oh, here's starting from the hearts.
Right.
Then when we lead, we'll lead out of the brain.
Right.
But from the hearts for a moment,
Sure.
Dreams come.
Yeah.
Well, we landed on a 7-year plan to ship our Jeeps to Australia and drive through the outback.
Wow.
And I think it's possible.
Sure.
Now it might not. We might end up renting Jeeps there or something.
Sure.
But it's stirring in people's hearts. And in the middle of that, we're looking forward to another dream.
Yeah. I remember when your dream used to be to own a Toyota Tundra.
Never. Oh, well, it was. I had a Toyota Tundra because I didn't think I could get a Jeep. And then I bought a Toyota Tundra. And then I sold it and got a Jeep. And then I'm like, someday I'm going to go to the Arctic. I'm going next year.
Yeah.
And someday I'm going. And then out of that, I was sharing that dream with somebody else who actually lives in Africa. And they were over to the States visiting. I was telling them our Australia dream. He goes, Kevin, there are companies that will set you up to drive all across Africa in their Jeeps for you. You wouldn't even have to ship them. I'm like, so that dream has opened up another dream to drive through the Serengeti in a Jeep.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When you're on day 5 and you're struggling, keep dreaming.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to repeat all those really quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here they are. Day 5. Day 5 is dangerous because doubt starts to come in.
Yeah.
And so you got to bloom where you're planted. Bickering and complaining is going to be easy. So you have to speak life. Boredom is going to set your heart and you're going to become insecure. You got to reproduce yourself. It's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
You want a challenge? Reproduce yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's also a time of opportunity, day 5.
Yeah.
Find a pace. Find a connection. Deepest friends come out of then.
Yep.
Keep believing. Keep believing. Keep believing. Keep believing. And
Don't
there's a
stop.
good discipline that grows there. Keep smiling. Yep, you said it. Smile. And then number 5, take it away. Did you not say smile? Did you say something else?
I said don't stop.
Don't stop.
Well-
Man, I'm missing everything. I'm focused on my notes. And then
Look forward.
Look forward.
That's good.
So there it is.
Boom.
Take us out.
Yeah. That was fun, Kevin. I love day 5. And as always, that was an excellent, most amazing topic.
I think here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
I think people are going to listen to this podcast and they're going to identify it's day 5.
Yeah.
And self-identification of day 5 is going to empower them to make the right decisions out of day 5.
Yeah.
Everyone has a day 5.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't know it. Sometimes we think we're living day 7 and the miracle's not coming.
That's good.
But it's coming. It's just day 5 right now.
Yeah.
So I hope as people listen to this, and I would encourage you to listen to it, more than once.
Yeah.
And allow the Lord to show you, even reveal into your heart. Oh.
Yeah.
And better days ahead.
That's good. I love it. Day 5 living. Well, that's the Life and Gear podcast. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us. For Kevin and myself, choose to live life with joy and adventure.
Boom. Shakalaka.